We've got another live stream. Welcome. Another deep space live stream. With the Seestar s50 once again, and we have a very interesting object tonight. I'm already at about 9 minutes of stacking. We are looking at Messier Object 8, M8. This is the Lagoon Nebula. We are looking at what I feel like is a mysterious object just because of the name. This is known as the Lagoon Nebula. And it's also known as the Hourglass Nebula. The apparent magnitude of this is a 6.0. Which is interesting because it's very close to what I imaged last night. If you were here last night on the live stream, I was doing the Eagle Nebula, and it's the same magnitude as the Eagle Nebula. And it's near it. So they're both 6.0 in magnitude. However, the Lagoon Nebula has a bigger angular size. So I'm gonna zoom in, it's crazy, guys, because this nebula is so big that when I mark it, if you see that, it doesn't even fit, it barely fits in the frame, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in to it. I'm gonna play a bit with the saturation and brightness and things like that. Thanks for joining Johnny's Bowling. Yes, there's a planetary alignment in the works. That's right, Johnny. And at the crack of dawn, there should be a lot of the planets in alignment. Today is the good planetary alignment, guys, compared to the one from last time, because this time the planets won't be blocked by the horizon and stuff like that. This is going to be a good one, where you can see a lot of them naked eye visible, except for, of course, the ones that are further out. But yeah, we've got a good planetary alignment coming up. And in the meantime, we are imaging live the Lagoon Nebula, aka the Hourglass Nebula. We're gonna dig in. Thanks for joining, everyone. I am live from Southern California. It is currently 9:30 p.m., just about. And we've got some nice clear skies tonight. So taking advantage of that, taking advantage of the weekend. This nebula right now that I'm imaging, a little hard to capture just because it was like right in between two trees, so hopefully it doesn't get blocked. Let me bring up the brightness a little bit here. Let me show you guys what we're looking at too. I'm gonna pull it up from the NASA website. It's gonna be down towards the bottom. So yeah, this is Messier 8, famously known as the Lagoon Nebula. A lot of young stars here. It is 5,200 light years away from Earth. 5,200 light years. It's in the constellation Sagittarius. It's an emission nebula. I am looking at that. If you can kind of see it there. I know the chat might be in the way a bit, but it's straight from the NASA website. That's what we're looking at. It's like a rolling wall of smoke, but it's all full of stars. This particular image that you're seeing at the bottom of the screen from NASA is from the Hubble Space Telescope. I'm trying to discern a little bit more why it's also known as the Hourglass Nebula. By the way, have any of you that are watching this right now, have you imaged this nebula before with your Seestar or with any other telescope? This nebula is not too far from Earth if you think about it, because it's only 5,200 light years. I mean, it's deep in space, don't get me wrong. This is pretty deep. But it's really pretty. It really does look like a smoke dust cloud. It's home to its own star cluster. And according to NASA, there's massive stars within this nebula, and it gives off enormous amounts of radiation, ultraviolet radiation. That's what's causing it to shine. It's ionizing the gas. Yeah, it's pretty cool. This area of the sky, there's several really nice nebulae in this area of the sky, to be honest. It's got all the good ones, like the Swan Nebula. These are all close to each other. The Swan Nebula, the Eagle Nebula, which we were doing live last night, the Pillars of Creation. If you're back again tonight and you were here with me last night, let me know. Thanks for joining again. Neil Schaefer, thanks for joining. And Chuck Baker, thank you. You're doing Omega right now, Chuck. That's awesome. I mean, look at how big this is, guys. It's funny because I'm seeing it on the Sky Atlas and I'm thinking I'm gonna get most of it, but when I went back, right, if we zoom out and I mark it, look at this, it's just outside of the frame. But I think I think we have the most prominent feature here. It's really pretty. There's a lot of good summertime nebulae right now to image. I feel like this must be nebulae season. There's just some good ones right along this area. This same area of the sky, this same patch of the sky near Sagittarius constellation, the Serpents constellation. And let's see, we're at 11 minutes of image stacking. And I'm doing 10-second exposures because it's a bit windy out here, as usual. Can you guys see that? We're like at 11 minutes. I might have to move the Seestar there a little bit so you guys can see we're at 11 minutes. Eleven and a half minutes. It's looking good. It's looking good. Let me move this here to the side. That way you guys can see when I'm messing with the saturation and brightness and things like that. There we go. There we go. Let's zoom in. So yeah, at the bottom of the screen, at the very bottom, it's just the picture from the Hubble Space Telescope of this same nebula is what I have there. Let me know what you guys are doing. Doing a little poll. Are anybody else imaging? Let's see what's gonna happen. Most of you not imaging? Cannot image? Guys, I have some stuff I want to talk about regarding solar maximum. Have you guys been hearing that? Of course, we are in solar maximum. And there was a geomagnetic storm watch in effect for today. But the crazy thing is that it was during the daytime. So it was a G4 geomagnetic storm and the G5 storm back in May last month was the one that caused the aurora borealis all over the world. So people were kind of flipping out, wondering if we were going to get auroras tonight. But the geomagnetic storm was only in effect during the daytime, and things calmed down for the evening. So, and during the daytime, of course, no one can see auroras. So nobody can see the northern lights. But I thought that was really interesting. But if you've been looking at the sun lately, from limb to limb, it's just full of sunspots because we are basically at solar maximum. And yeah, make sure if you have your telescope, try to look at the sun as well, just because it's just so many sunspots. And just the fact that we had a geomagnetic storm watch today just shows that the sun is going through intense activity, and that only happens every 25 years or so. So yeah. Thanks for joining again, Blair. Blair is back. We are looking, for those of you just joining, we are looking at live the Lagoon Nebula. It is also known as the Hourglass Nebula. And as I was saying with this one, it's relatively near Earth. I mean, it's far, but it's 5,200 light years away from Earth. It is still very deep space. Yeah, don't get me wrong. A lot of ultraviolet radiation coming off of these young stars in this nebula. It's really pretty. And if I go back to my sky atlas, you can see, look at all, there's just so much to grab in this area of the sky. There's so much other objects. See this? That's the one I'm on right now, right? Look at this. There's just so much. We zoom out. And not far, like I said, from Eagle Nebula, the one we were doing yesterday. Not too far from Omega Nebula as well. Thanks for joining, Tim. Yes, the colors are wonderful. It's really pretty. It's really pretty. Oh, that's cool, Blair. I'm glad that you're getting into astronomy. That's awesome. Yeah, I would recommend if you want to learn, I guess, more quickly and just to make it more exciting or funner, I would definitely suggest a smart telescope. Smart telescopes are the future, and the future is now. And they're just easy to use, easy to set up, not too big of a learning curve. So, and with this one in particular, it's amazing. This is the Seestar s50 telescope, and it's a wonderful scope. So it looks like a lot of you, the majority of you that are watching right now are not able to image 90%. Because it's too cloudy. Oh, okay. Let me move up the Swan Nebula a little bit because it's kind of going into the chat. I want you guys to be able to see it. We're at almost 15 minutes of stacking. Let me know where you guys are watching from. And give me a thumbs up, give me a like if you're loving this. Yesterday we had a really fun live stream. We ended it with Alberio, which is a multiple star system. It's a binary star. I feel like that's my object of the month, or my pick for the month of June or something, because I've been talking about it a lot in the live streams, but finally yesterday we did it last night and it looked insane, amazing, and we got some diffraction spikes on there at the end. It was awesome. So go look at Alberio when you can with your telescope, and you will see that with the naked eye it's one star, but through your telescope it'll resolve into 2 stars, which is what they are. It's a binary star system. Is incredible. Chuck from Texas. Awesome. I grew up in Texas. I grew up in Houston, so maybe we were neighbors. That's awesome. The moon is not rising until past midnight, so gives us a good window to be looking at any deep space object right now. It's a good time to be imaging if you can. Is anybody staying up late, or I guess, or waking up at the crack of dawn for the planetary alignment? Basically, most of the U.S. is going to be able to see this, or all of the U.S., actually. And guys, don't forget, in the let's see, so it's Saturday. Well, it's Friday night still for me, but it's already Saturday for some of you. Saturday morning, there's going to be a live telescope stream of an asteroid, a near-Earth asteroid. I was talking about it last night in the stream. So it's gonna be live from a telescope website. It's a live telescope feed. I'll let you guys know what it is, because I think this is gonna be really neat to see. Virtual Telescope is the one doing it. This is a mountain-sized planet killer asteroid is what they call it. There was one on Thursday, yesterday, as well, that they went live with, and there's going to be one. Oh, when I say 9:30 in the morning, I believe that's Eastern time, Pacific. Excuse me, that's 9:30 Eastern, not Pacific. But virtual telescope, if you look up virtual telescope, they're the ones that are going to do it live just for a few minutes while it's passing, you know, relatively near Earth. They call these potentially hazardous asteroids, they call them planet killers, because it's just approaching very close to Earth compared to other asteroids in the past, I don't know how many decades. So it's pretty exciting because it's rare and within close range of the Earth, and it, you know, this stuff doesn't happen every day, so it's pretty neat. Did anyone see the SpaceX? They launched today, and I was actually they launched from California, so it was pretty cool. I was able to see it just as the, you know, as the rocket was flying by. I didn't see the actual launch because that's like a couple hours from where I live, but it was pretty cool to just see the rocket as it passed by above where I live. And they said several states could actually see it, all the way to Colorado as well. They're launching all the time because they're always launching satellites, but it's cool when they launch you know, when they launch from California, because I'm able to see it from here. So just for maybe 1 or 2 minutes as it's flying by. It's really neat. It's still really far, but you can see it. What's going on, Stealth? Thanks for joining again. Oh, you like to watch all the SpaceX launches? Yeah, it's pretty fun. Especially if it's the big one, like when they've been testing Starship. This nebula is just getting prettier and prettier. Wow. Let's see if I can brighten this up a bit. Move this a little bit here. I really like the colors of this one, and just like it's like this swirl, and then the way there's like less color here. The Seestar just picks this up so well. It's really nice. And then it's got some darker tones up here. What's going on, Rhea? Thank you so much for your super chat. Yes, Astro Room is back. I am back. I was out of the country for 2 weeks and I wasn't able to live stream, but I am back. Thank you for your support. Awesome. Yeah, guys, hit me with the like, a little thumbs up if you're loving this. If for those of you just joining, we're looking at the Lagoon Nebula, also known as the Hourglass Nebula, known as Messier Object Number 8, M8. We're at almost 20 minutes of image stacking right now. Yes. It's looking good. It's just getting better and better. Wow, this might be one of my favorite nebula, I think. Wow, let me zoom in a bit here. Let me zoom in a lot. Check it out. Check it out, guys. What a great way to kick off the weekend with this nebula. I'm trying to see if I can find some other pictures of it to see why they also call it the Hourglass. Wow. This one is located towards the east. Like southeast. Wow, it's just, wow, guys, compared to how we started 30 minutes ago, look at how big it is now. Look at how much it's grabbing. Wow. Oh man, can we just get mosaic mode? It's just gonna look awesome if we can just get everything in there. Wow. I love this. I'm loving this right now. This is crazy. I mean, I was impressed last night during the live stream of the Pillars of Creation, as I love it. That's definitely one of my favorites. But this one just... wow. Wow, it's just really pretty, guys. If we compare it to... So this one... Okay. M8. 6,000 light years away. And then... Why does this one just look so huge? And then Eagle Nebula is closer, but this one is just bigger. This one is just bigger. I'm comparing it. I'm looking at a Sky Guide app. Because they're both the same in magnitude, the same as the Eagle Nebula in magnitude. I feel like this one is just like a monster. Oh, Chuck, you're doing your Vespera to the Lagoon? That's awesome. Let me know how that turns out. That's going to look beautiful, I'm sure, on your Vespera. How big is the Lagoon Nebula? I want to know. You guys know I love to dig into this stuff. 110 light years across. Okay. Okay, 110 light years across. Every light year is 6 trillion miles. 110 light years across and 50 light years wide. About 3 times the size of a full moon. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we know already it's located in the Sagittarius constellation, but it says it's in the Sagittarius arm of the Milky Way. I keep seeing back and forth with how far it is from Earth, guys. So I'm seeing it's roughly between 4,000 to 6,000 light years away from Earth. The largest and brightest nebula in that area of the sky, visible only throughout the northern hemisphere. Oh, it's visible throughout the northern hemisphere, but people in the south have an even better view of it. What? Because of the location in the sky? Okay, that makes sense because it's pretty low on the horizon. Like, yeah, I was afraid I wasn't going to get it, that I had to wait later on to come on the stream. That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh. So, guys, this is kind of blowing my mind. This nebula, apparently, you can see it barely, though, visible to the naked eye. I mean, that's got to be in Bortle 1. That's got to be Bortle 1. So, okay, hold up now. Now I'm curious, because... Orion Nebula. I want to compare now the distance. Because, you know, Orion Nebula is another iconic one. Okay, so Orion Nebula is 1,500 light years away from Earth? How on earth is this even possible to be seen with the naked eye? I guess because it's just so big. Because it's 4,000 to 6,000 light years away. Okay. So it's full of, it's definitely a star-forming region, just like Orion. Full of young stars. Let me see, I want to show you guys with the, see if you guys can see this. With the Sky Guide app. I see the hourglass kind of shape, but only like half of it. You guys see that? Look at this. It's like right, like the Milky Way's right there. Look at how low it is. It's very low in the sky for now. It's gonna go up to 32 degrees. It peaks at 12:30 a.m. Okay. So even when it rises the highest, it's really not that high in the sky. Wow. Okay. One of the brightest emission nebulae known. Visible to the unaided eye. I don't know why I didn't really realize that, or I didn't know that. I mean, any of you that are watching have ever looked at this nebula with the naked eye? Please let me know. John Daly, thanks for joining. We're looking at Lagoon Nebula, Hourglass Nebula, and we are just blown away by this stuff. Okay, you know, I definitely looking at it, let me go back to the Seestar. I can see now the way it's called, like, Lagoon. How it's saying there, it's like... It's got, like, these little... Like, it says black furrows that divides it, that it looks like lagoons, like little rivers in there. Simple Man, what's going on? Thank you for joining again. This is... Okay. Okay, so the Trifid Nebula... Okay, let me click on that. Okay, you see that? You see that, guys? Look at this, look at this. That's what I'm saying, there's so many interesting stuff in this area of the sky. Look at this. So you can get the Trifid, Lagoon. There's just so much. There's so much nebulae here. Trifid Nebula is really pretty too. That's for another night. Or maybe I could do it tonight too. So this one is 6.3 in magnitude. This one is definitely smaller because Lagoon, 55 angular size. Yeah, this one's going to be way smaller. So if I do Trifid, 20, 5,200 light years away from Earth. I'm just loving this one. I'm just loving Lagoon Nebula. It is really, really, really nice. Yeah, can't get over this one right now. Yeah, so when we were looking at... Eagle Nebula, it's higher up in the sky. Yep, you see that? Yesterday we were doing Eagle Nebula. It's up here. Can you guys see that? Okay. I think you guys can. Do I have to move this? Yeah, so... We've got Lagoon down here. Eagle is up here. Omega Nebula. Guys, if you haven't done all of these before... Please make sure you do this with your scope. There's just too many good ones, and it's summertime. And this is the time to look at these. Look at this, look at this. There's so many. Chandra Kumar Thakur from India. Namaste, thank you for joining. So, Simple Man, I must say, I actually do have the paid version of Sky Guide. And, I didn't for the longest time. I did not, but I honestly think if you don't have the paid version of this app, I think you can still see all of this. I noticed that, like, there was some stuff that came with the paid version that I couldn't see it without it, like Comet Tulpe Brooks, for some reason, I believe was only on the paid version. The Blaze Star, which is Corona Borealis, is on the paid version. I wish they would just have it on the unpaid, but yeah. I do have the paid version of the app. I really love this app. I've tried other Sky Guide apps, and I think this one is just a really good one. It's a really good one to have. There's so many good nebulae in here. Cygnus, North America Nebula. There's so much good stuff. So much good stuff for the summer. Cat's paw? Guys, anybody gotten the cat's paw? Pretty small though. Must be cute. Look at that. That's cute, guys. You know, Chandra Kumar, that's a great question. A lot of the websites that they have are more like simulations of the night sky, and it's more to learn the night sky. So Stellarium is a good one to just learn your night sky and look at what's up in the night sky in your area. I'll write it in the chat. Stellarium. As far as like, I don't know if you're referring to like live. Oh, the Sky Live is a good one just to know what's also in the night sky. But, you know, as far as like live, there's really, you know, there's really nothing. Most of it is just simulation of what's in the sky, right? Maps. This is why I go live, because who doesn't want to see live deep space? This stuff is awesome. Yeah. Yeah, Simple Man, try to just, every time with these apps, whenever it tells you you have to pay and stuff, if you exit that out or ignore it, it'll give you a good, you know. I used Skyguide for a long time unpaid, and it's great. It's really good. But maybe depending on the targets that you're looking at, you know, yeah. Okay, this cat's paw kind of killing me. This is kind of cute. I wonder if anybody's gotten this. Wait, is this like really low? How low is that? That might be War and Peace Nebula, guys? Also known as the Lobster Nebula. Oh, yeah, look at that. It looks like a lobster for real. Oh, that's cool. I haven't gotten any of these with the Seestar. Now I'm curious. Where is this one? Rises at 7:30. Okay. Wow, that's even lower. There's too many good things, man. In look at that Prawn Nebula. Love these names. Guys, if you have gotten these before, let me know. These that I'm naming. Oh man, okay guys, Northern Jewel Box. I have not seen it in the Seestar, but I saw it. This is beautiful. I saw this one with my Celestron telescope. Just with, this is like no camera installed, nothing. Just straight through the eyepiece. There's so many nice clusters to look at during the summer. Straight through the eyepiece. You can still see them. They're a bit faint, but they're really pretty. And this Northern Jewel Box blew my mind because I should try to get this with the Seestar, but it was, I totally understood why it was called the Jewel Box. And the cool thing about looking at it through the eyepiece, it was literally glowing like, how do I tell you? It was like glittering on and off. On and off. As if you're opening and closing literally a box of jewels. It seemed like it was just on and off, and it was just gorgeous. These stars were incredible. I had not seen that before. That's the only one that I've seen that's like that. It looks like someone is turning on and off the light switch on the stars. It's really pretty. It's like they're constantly twinkling if you look at this through the eyepiece. Obviously, if we do this through the Seestar, you're not going to be able to see that because, you know, the Seestar is just taking the pictures and stacking them and stuff, so. But to see it straight through an eyepiece of a traditional telescope, it was really, really neat. I saw it last summer, about a year ago, and I went to very dark skies, by the way. The reason why I was only able to see it, I was in very dark skies. I was at a Bortle 1. I was at a Joshua Tree National Park. John, okay. Cat's paw is low. Chandra, I like those emojis. War and Peace Nebula. I want to get these. Prawn. Look at this. This is... Oh my goodness. Angular size of the prawn is 90. This is like almost double of what we're looking at right now with the Lagoon Nebula. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go back to the Seestar. "23 minutes. 23 minutes. 23 minutes and 40. This is turning out nice. 23:40. Almost 24 minutes of image stacking. Making me want to look up. Prawn in here. That's pretty low. 14. That one is big. Maybe we gotta wait until we're deeper into summer to see all those other nebula as they come up, as they rise, you know, later on. Or earlier, I should say. Yeah, because anything like 12 in the horizon, or that's pretty low. At least for me, over here. Yeah, you know what, John? It is better than yesterday. I don't know why. I always do autofocus before, you know, before I shoot, right? Before I start imaging, but these are looking nice and crisp and round. But I don't know, this nebula is just it's gorgeous. I mean, for a Bortle 7 sky, this is looking great tonight. Maybe it's just clearer skies tonight. We've had ozone watch for a few days, and tonight is a nice night. It won't get cloudy till 4 a.m. or something, but it is a really nice night. No ozone watch, no nothing like that. So this is looking awesome. This is looking awesome. Gaurav Gupta, thanks for joining. Yes. Thank you. Simple Man, yeah, my Celestron, so it's the Nextstar 8SE. Let me write it in the chat there. So it's just a traditional computerized one. So You know, it's not equatorial. Alt azimuth. It's alt azimuth, so. Yeah, it's just an easy to use, you know, a go-to mount, computerized. You just press a button, it'll take you to whatever object. I want to move the Seestar there a little bit. Move this up. Can you guys see that? Wow, this is going to be my favorite nebula of the month. Love this. Stealth, you're asking me if I post-process. So I was talking a little bit about that last night during the live stream. I'm how do I tell you? I don't want to say I'm not a big fan of post-processing. I just like things simple. I always do post-process these images after my live stream and stuff, but it's like the very simple, basic. I like to just go into even the straight from my phone or from my tablet, just the regular photo app on there, and I'll just press auto, and you know, I'll let it do its thing on its own to post process, and that way super easy image editing. Or if I want to have a bit more fun, I'll go into the Lightroom app. I love the Lightroom app. I don't think it's on Android. I believe that's only on iOS for Apple. And there's a paid version. I do not have the paid version of that app. So if you download that, ignore when it says to pay, you know, pay for it or whatever. It's a great free, it's by Adobe Lightroom, but it's a great app, and you can do a lot of nice post-processing on there. As a matter of fact, I have a video on my channel here that shows how to post-process with that app. It has a lot of nice features where you can play with the you know, RGB with all the colors, and yeah, it's really neat. I won't get too detailed into that right now, but check out if you're interested in that app. It's called Lightroom. Like I said, you can look at the video that I posted on post-processing, and I did a nice post-processing of Horsehead Nebula and Flame Nebula with that app. Yeah, so Simple Man, yeah, you can with my Celestron that I have. There are people who do, you know, put it on a wedge equatorial mount and stuff. I just haven't done it. I just haven't done it myself. Oh, Lagoon is hard for you to see, John. Yeah, you know what? That's kind of what bums me out sometimes. There's some objects I want to see and I absolutely can't because of a neighbor's house too, or a building or something is in the way. I'm dying to get Comet 12P Obers, but it's totally just, I've got stuff blocking the view of it, and I'm bummed out. Thankfully, I have a view of Corona Borealis, so most of the objects that I can see the best are always located towards the south, and mainly towards the east for me. Anything south, anything east, southeast, some west, but too much light pollution that goes straight into my Seestar from the west. But north is a bit hard for me to catch any objects too further north, but yeah. Yeah. Stealth, you're right. This is, yeah. So one thing, guys, you know, You know the feature to save each frame, subframe and enhancing, so then you can like take out the, grab every image, right, in post-process? For some weird reason, when I'm live streaming, I cannot have that feature on. I don't know what it is, if it's some type of issue with the Seestar itself, with the software, but if I turn that on while I'm live imaging, I'll get tons of disconnection issues. So unfortunately, when I'm live streaming, I don't have save each frame and enhancing, you know, save each sub on. But this is looking really nice. And I'm definitely going to have to do some type of post-processing, even though it's just with this one single image, right? Whatever the final image is, because you're right, Stealth. This one is really nice. It's really nice tonight. Yeah, for sure. 1 hour of data is going to make it look awesome. We're at almost 30 minutes. So, you guys see that? We're at almost 30 minutes right there. Yeah, this one is looking awesome. You know what? And today I played more with the brightness and contrast than I did yesterday on the live stream. I don't know if that helped. I keep going back and forth with brightness and contrast. And I'm sure that helps too. I never like to leave it right at the default. And I don't know if you guys were noticing, but I kept going back and forth with those, and I think that really helped. Just the saturation, just very little saturation. I bumped up a little bit, and yeah, with the brightness I kept going. Usually I don't even mess that much with the brightness and contrast. I always mess with it, but not as much as now. Like I kind of pumped it up a bit more, and yeah, because this is just looking good. The details on this one. I really like the colors. Oh, something I wanted to ask all of you. Let me write it in the chat. I'm curious, guys, how are all of you watching this stream? Are most of you like on a phone or on a tablet, iPad? Anybody watching it on a TV? I'm gonna say this is gonna be one of the best live streams of deep space that I've done at night because, and I just say that because of the way this nebula is turning out. It's stacking really nice. Yes, Simple Man. That counts too. Absolutely. I should have added that as an option. Anybody been trying Corona Borealis, guys? The blaze star? It's at a magnitude 10 right now. That one is gonna... I can't wait for that because... for it to go nova because it's a magnitude 10, so you can still image it. But, you know, it's not gonna be super bright. But imagine when it goes from a 10 to a 1 or a 2. Magnitude 1 or 2, like Polaris. Magnitude 3 or so. It's gonna look awesome. So make sure you're getting your before and after, you know, get your shots now so you'll have a before and after once it goes nova. Ooh, I'm loving this Lagoon Nebula. Do you guys see why it's called the Hourglass as well? I can't really... I think I love more the Lagoon name. That's what I'm seeing. It does look like a lagoon in there. Oh, good, Stealth. You've got your before picture already of Corona Borealis. That's great. Was that on your Seestar? Or with the Seestar or with a different scope? Okay, we're at almost 30 minutes. I want to take a picture of this one. Get my picture in there before. I'm gonna try what I did tonight with other nebulae when I live stream and stuff with the adjust feature. I'm gonna mess more with the brightness. Like, I just noticed that I kept kind of back and forth with brightness and contrast. I'm just wondering why this just looks so nice and crisp. It really does, guys. Imagine if I lived in Bortle 4. You know, Bortle 4, 5, I'll take it. I'll take it. Like, those of you that live in those dark, dark skies like that, I want to know how these nebula, you know, this nebula looks, because this looks great. This looks great. Guys, pay attention to any more geomagnetic storm watches in case it goes up again, because like I said earlier in the stream today, or earlier in the stream, yeah, 30 minutes ago or so, or an hour ago, I was talking about how there was a geomagnetic storm watch during the daytime, but you know, that wasn't going to give us, we're not going to be able to see any northern lights during the daytime. But I thought that was interesting, and I was looking at that there's just so many sunspots from limb to limb of the sun right now, a lot, especially towards the south limbs of the sun. But yeah, make sure you're paying attention to those, you know, Space Weather Prediction Center and all that. Just in case. I got my scope up now. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, let me close the pole. I put my scope down there now. We got 14 votes. Let's close it out. Most people watching the stream, 64% on the phone. Number 2 is on your computers. Cool. Got my Seestar out there, guys. You can see it. You can kind of see it. I know the chat's kind of in the way, but I got a live view of the scope outside there. Yeah, all the spirals. M51. That's a great. That's a fun one. I think that's one of my favorite galaxies to image. Absolutely, John. You got to do Lagoon. And it's going to look triple better than mine, I'm sure. Because you've got really dark skies. From what you've said. You're like at a Bortle 4 or so. If I'm not mistaken. So yours is going to... Imagine how good this... Look at how good this looks at insane light pollution. Imagine yours is going to look amazing. That's cool, Simple Man. You want to do an all-nighter? Let me get another shot of this one. Actually, let me see if I play around with the brightness. Okay. I'm scared. Should I? There we go. A little bit more contrast. Wow. Take a shot of that. 33 minutes. This has been a fun one. Stealth, my light pollution filter is definitely on. I know it's a little hard for you to see it. Let me move it. Let me move the Seestar app there a little bit. See if you can see that. It's definitely on. I've got the light pollution filter plus the accessory. If you can... might be hard to see it with the chat at the bottom, but if you can see the Seestar, it's, you know, you can, I have my camera that is showing my Seestar outside at the bottom of your screen, and hard to tell a bit, but I have a light pollution filter even on top of that, like a dew shield on the lens as well. So I double it up. Yeah, the light pollution filter is on because it's green. I definitely made sure to turn that on. I don't know if it's happened to anyone else. There's times when I've only tried it once or so. I turned on the light pollution filter for objects that the Seestar did not recommend to turn on the light pollution filter, and it would not grab the object. So I was like, maybe it'll help because I live in such light polluted skies, but yeah, I learned not to do that. It just wasn't even going to grab the object. It couldn't even preview the image. I couldn't capture it. Thought that was kind of interesting. Zoom in a bit more. Thank you for joining, everyone. I'm going to call it a night. I think I'm very satisfied with the Lagoon Nebula. Nice nebula to get going into the weekend. And be on the lookout for, like I said, the stream your sun, live image your sun, because there's a lot of sunspots right now. It's fun to look at it. We're in solar maximum. So make sure you're looking at the sun during the daytime if you've got some nice clear skies. And pay attention to any news about geomagnetic storm, in particular if they say a number 5, because that's gonna trigger some insane aurora borealis. So let's see if there's gonna be another round of that, like what happened last month. It's very possible. So thank you everyone for joining. This has been fun. This was a good night.